5, 4,
That's the question.
3.
Hello, Fusitu'a. What do you think is the role of a parliamentarian like you in promoting gender equality?
Okay. As far as parliamentarians' roles go, the role of parliamentarians worldwide is to take policy that's been given to them, or they address and put up policy, and then to present legislation and pass legislation in accordance with that policy. In Tonga, there are two ways legislation is put to our house. The first way is government, cabinet sets government policy, and they use those policies to then draft legislation which is submitted to Parliament for vetting and for eventual passing. The second way is that we have private members' bills, so members themselves can come up with policy initiatives with respect to subjects which they believe in, and then draft and present private members' bills to the House. With respect to the current topic, this year in Tonga, it was passed last year but became law this year, is the Family Protection Act, which for the first time in Tongan history, a domestic relationship was legally defined and domestic violence was legally defined, which is separate from our Criminal Offences Act. So for the first time, women and girls are protected explicitly under the law when they're in a domestic situation and they suffer abuse or violence. There's legislation which explicitly protects them and explicitly penalises those people that cause this abuse and violence. So insofar as our core role goes, that's my core role as a parliamentarian in relation to promoting gender equality and preventing violence against women and girls. Secondly, Tonga is statistically, the population has more women than men. However, our parliament is nearly entirely made up of men. There's only one woman member. So my personal feeling is that the onus is upon us as male parliamentarians to take the initiative and to take ownership of this issue, which affects both Tonga, the South Pacific, our region, and the entire world, and to take ownership of protecting women and girls from violence, and to take ownership both at a policy and a legislative level, as well as becoming advocates in our electorates, in our communities, to talk with our leaders in our electorate and our communities, so that we can not change Tongan culture, but empower women within the spectrum of Tongan culture. In Tongan culture, women and girls are given an elevated place socially, above men. We want to maintain that, which makes us unique, while empowering them and protecting them from abuse and violence. So that's on an advocacy level. Finally, with respect to the meeting in Cambodia, as a parliamentarian, the onus is upon us to attend meetings like this, to dialogue and liaise with parliamentarians from various other countries on a regional and a sub-regional level, so that we get some sort of uniformity of policy and legislation, which we then bring back to our countries and enact, so that wherever you go, you're able to ensure that there's a uniformity across the board for protection of women and girls. And that's one of the most crucial roles of parliamentarians, is these types of meetings, so that we can dialogue, exchange ideas, and be able to help and inform one another on how to further propel the protection of women and girls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.